Hi friends, welcome to Storytime on the Back Porch. We're so glad you joined us today. I'm Lisa, this is Lila, and this is Lucy, my furry friends. Well, our story today is about another animal. This one is not furry. It's about Wally, the wayward sea turtle. And the story is written by a local author from Middle Tennessee. Her name is Joy Pewitt. And the story about Wally is a story about choices, mistakes, and saving grace. Let's find out what adventure Wally is up to. Are you ready, girls? Let's take a look.
On a warm summer night, the full moon rose over the ocean. Its light shone across the water and the sandy beach. On this particular beach, there was a nest of sea turtle eggs buried deep in the sand. On this night, the eggs were ready to hatch. Many weeks before, a female sea turtle had come ashore and laid the eggs in a deep hole that she had dug in the sand. She carefully buried them and then returned to the sea. When it was time, a baby sea turtle began to break out of his egg. First his nose pecked against the white shell. Then he began to move his flippers a little. Finally, he flapped with all his might and kicked the shell away from his tiny body. Wally had hatched. Instinctively, he knew he needed to get out of this nest and follow the light to the ocean. Other sea turtles were already on their way. Wally pushed and pulled as hard as his little flippers could move him forward. The effort to climb out of that deep sand was hard work, but he was getting stronger with every inch. Finally, he reached the top of that sandy nest. Looking all around, he heard the gentle sound of the ocean waves lapping on the shore. In the sky above was the most beautiful light. It was a gloriously full and perfectly round moon. Wally saw how the moon glistened on the water. The light marked his path straight into the ocean. Unfortunately, the little sea turtle became distracted. He looked all around, and in the opposite direction, he saw another light. He knew nothing of street lamps or other sources of light that came from houses and cars. Wally turned and began to follow the glow of a street light. He was going away from the ocean. Without understanding his mistake, Wally was following the wrong light. The little turtle crawled for a long time. He crawled for so long that his flippers got tired. He looked toward the street light, and trusting in himself that he was going the right way, he kept moving toward it. But in fact, this precious baby turtle was getting farther and farther away from the safety of his ocean home. His tiny flippers ached. His shell felt so dry. When he couldn't go any farther, the turtle stopped to rest. He wasn't sure he was going to make it. As he rested and thought about his journey, he began to realize that he was lost. He was following the wrong light, and he was going the wrong way. It did not seem like things could get worse, but then they did. Suddenly, the baby turtle felt a tug. Without warning, he was picked up by a hungry seagull. Up, up into the sky, he was carried in the clutch of this bird. The hungry seagull flew high above the sand, along the sidewalk, and near the street. As he flew, the seagull spied something else below. It was a piece of food left lying on the ground. The bird set his eyes on this new treat, and when he did, he dropped the little sea turtle. Falling down through the air while he tossed and turned, that poor turtle fell a long way until... Bam! He landed against the sidewalk. But worst of all, he landed upside down. Poor Wally was so far from the ocean now. He could no longer see the water or hear the soothing waves. He was completely helpless, and so afraid that he would never make it home now. He lay there and waited. It wasn't long before the turtle heard footsteps coming toward him. A deep and gentle voice began to speak to him. "Come on, little one, let me help you." Wally felt himself being lifted and carried. Soon he began to hear the sound of the waves again. He felt the spray of water, and once again he saw the ocean. Wally was placed carefully into the water. He moved quickly into the tide. As he was swimming out to sea, Wally looked up. The morning sun shone through the clouds. A beautiful rainbow arched across the sky. With thanks, Wally breathed a sigh of relief. He was home.
Oh, what did you think? Did you learn something about sea turtles? I sure did. They live in nests in the sand, and I am so glad that Wally had someone that helped get him back to the sea. If you get your own copy of this book, there are actually some more facts about sea turtles. I like that one. Wally the Wayward Sea Turtle by Laura Joy Pewitt. Good story. Well, you can join us anytime for another story right here on Storytime on the Back Porch. And you can see those stories anytime by subscribing to our YouTube channel.